Hello and welcome to the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena on the Six Nations of the Grand River Reservation as we wrap up the regular season in the Arena Lacrosse League with the first half of our doubleheader featuring the Whitby SteelHawks taking on the Paris RiverWolves. Lance Wynn working alongside my broadcast partner Paul St. John and JVI Productions as we get to our starting goalies for the visitors from Whitby. Lane Haruska gets the start, comes in with a 1-2 record, 15.37 goals against, and a .725 save percentage. And for Paris, it'll be Cameron Dunkerley. He too with a 1-2 record, 14.21 goals against average, and a .762 save percentage. Head coaches for the SteelHawks in his fourth season at the helm, it's Gavin Prout. His assistant is Brad Reeve. And for the RiverWolves in his fifth season, Jamie Dubrick is the head coach. His assistant is Chris Driscoll. Officials for today's game, Joel Furman is the crew chief. He's joined by Kyle Coulter and Mac Abbott as we get set to go here. Opening faceoff, possession will go to the SteelHawks. And as we let the play flow through, I want to bring in my broadcast partner, Paul St. John. And Paul, when you talk about the end of the regular season and that transition into the playoffs, what are some of the things coaches are telling these guys as they get set for the real deal or the second season?
Well, I think key actually in this game here is you've got Whitby and Paris. First off, Paris has to win by 3 to get second place and a bye into the Final Four. Whitby wins, they get an outright bye into the Final Four. So I think coaches are preparing. They're going to obviously need to get through this game and lots of video lands.
So when we talk about the preparation, of course, this final weekend, rosters have been pretty full. Each team sort of working with their nucleus players, and you got to figure that that's what you want to do heading into the postseason.
Yeah, this is the final tune-up, right? The rosters are set, as we know, in the last week of the season, and you're going to see who's playing. There'll be the odd player missing due to injury or maybe even a COVID protocol or work commitments, but for the most part, everyone has their rosters.
So the Paris offense going to work. Curtis Woodland at the top. Eddie Renault in that left shooter spot. Dan Keene back in the lineup. He's in that right spot. And Dan Keene, welcome back, sir. As Keener finds the back of the net, opens the scoring 1-0 for the RiverWolves.
Early power play goal, Lance. Cody McMahon took a penalty. I didn't see four on the opening possession for Whitby, an offensive penalty. And in the end, Paris right away capitalizes.
So I didn't catch that power play, so obviously a little too gabby. Off the draw now. SteelHawks battling for it, still loose on the carpet. Whitby will come away with it, pick that up, and it's Owen Boyle. Good swarming defense by the RiverWolves. They force a turnover, and they'll bring it back the other way. Connor Watson, and one penalty deserves another as the RiverWolves will go back to the power play. Delayed penalty coming. Drake Smith also back in the Paris lineup. And you can bet they're pleased to have him. Keene sends it over. That pass looking for Cole Spear. Can't find the connect. And looks like second penalty of the game will also go to the SteelHawks. And it looks like Boyle, the guilty party.
Yeah, Owen Boyle got the penalty there, Lance. I think, again, a little overzealous. Reminds you of yesterday we had a game, Peterborough, Oshawa. Playoff implications on that one as well. High intense right from the opening faceoff.
So Woodland at the top here, this power play. Eddie Renault in that left shooter spot, inching his way in. Kyle Dawson down on that left crease. Dan Keene, right shooter. Good stop there by Haruska as he will look for an outlet. And Whitby will try to move it up over the timeline and work some clock.
Whitby's going to need another great game from Haruska. He had one last Friday night against Oshawa, and I won't say he stole the win, but he definitely was the first star in that game, and they're going to need another great performance today.
So Matt Boissonneau out there quartering the man-short situation as looking just to get a shot on net was Tyler Goodchild. Did just that. Possession now to the RiverWolves with 1:10 to go in the man advantage.
Look for them to swing the ball again. I think they'll go back to Keene. He had the first goal of the game from the right side, right shooter spot. See if they go that way again here.
That box in there pretty compressed in the top two as that'll allow guys to step in. So Eddie Renault makes good. And again, giving just what the defense gave them. Second power play goal, 2-0 for the RiverWolves.
Well, you know what? Good call there because, I was thinking they'd go the right side. They went to the left side, the left shooter with Renault. And, again, you said it right when you said that Whitby sagged a bit and gave them room to shoot. And good shooters are going to, have chances like that and score, and that's what Renault did there.
Well, plenty of good shooters in this league for sure, as violation will give Jonah Beam and company the ball. And, again, the Paris offense will go back to work. So far, they have dominated possession. And they continue where Cole Spear does a good job getting in and out. Haruska stops the bounce shot. He's going to try to fish that out behind the net and move it on up, and he does. Braden Curran, outstanding transition player, gets a trail man, and it's Diachenko. Good save there made by Dunkerley, and Paris now will lug it back up over the timeline.
I think Whitby has to do that. I think they've got to push the pace here. I think that's to their benefit in this game.
Keene had a notion, took the shot. Good job of getting a stick in that shooting lane. And a reset, Dawson will swing it over. Keene working one-on-one, tries to swim, tries to get a step. Curran all over him. Kicks it back, good pass. Renault's going to try the inside outer, nothing doing there. Short side cut off. And Whitby now is going to try to lug it up, and it's Cody Hamley. Hamley will wait for the rest of his offense, and Boyle now will slide over to the right and get it back.
I think Boyle's got that side stutter step that we've seen a lot in basketball. So I wonder if he plays a little of that in his offseason.
And that shot from Cole Hanrahan from way out. And how about that Hanrahan rookie kid getting his team on the board? That cuts the deficit in half, now 2-1.
Yeah, good swing pass by Boyle, and you're right. Way out, I think he caught Dunkley sleeping a little bit there, not expecting a long shot, but he put it in the far corner under the glove, and always a nice place to put it on an outside shot.
Well, I think we've seen in this league a lot of times the offensive player utilizing the defensive player as its screen and being able to find that opening, making it tough for the goalies to see those low corners, as Beam now will peel back out, give way. Kyle Dawson now will settle things down.
Definitely a big goal for the SteelHawks there, Lance, to get back in this game right away.
Stovall, Smith, his shot wide of the mark. Saw Drake Smith had to get an update on his injury report. Still he's nursing a bit of a hamstring. Wanted to come out, stretch it out, see where he's at, and get ready for playoffs. Good flip there, a little late though, as Stefan Diachenko will pick it up off the board, send it around to Goodchild. They'll work it around to Dan Mickle on the left side. Mickle, a handful. He's going to step into one. Good save by Dunkerley. Picked up by the RiverWolves now. Under 10 minutes to go here, opening quarter, as we are wrapping up the regular season here in the Arena Lacrosse League, getting prepared for next week's playoffs. And following that, of course, will be Final Four and championship weekend. Keene had a notion, sniffed it, 10 on the shot clock, kicks it back out. Keene's going to take that, tried to go same spot, good save by Harushka, and in transition here come the SteelHawks. Shot, good pass, and a beauty finish right there as Tristan Hanna came flying up to fill the lane, and the back of the net, we're tied at 2.
Well, you know what, Lance, you and I have talked off the air, and we talked about rookies in this league and guys that are performing and have been fantastic. And there's a long list this year, and Tristan Hanna is right there at the top with a handful of about 6 or 7 other ones. He doesn't miss very often from there, and there's a perfect transition run up. Great pass by Schott and a great finish by Hanna.
Well, I think this has been, as far as in this being the 5th year of the league, been the best rookie crop that we've seen, at least as far as having an impact on the league immediately. Some of these guys, Will Sheehan comes to mind. Hanrahan has been great. There have been a number of guys that have just sort of blown us away with their skill and their ability to play at this level.
Absolutely. Scotty Delzato from Six Nations. Owen Boyle, who went from Oshawa in an early season trade and is just picked his game up tenfold for the SteelHawks. Is another one.
So again, shot clock winding down. That goes off the post. So a good quick shot will result in a fresh clock and another possession for the SteelHawks. As you see Boyle out there at the top, swinging around. Good job by Paris as they have pushed their defense out and forced Whitby to play outside of the dotted half circle, and a good defensive hold there will give Paris the ball now with 8:25 to go opening quarter. Drake Smith out there with Cole Spear on the left side. Smith looking for a screen. Getting hounded there, kicks it back out. Woodland will swing it around to the left. Renault. Smith gets a shot, and that's blocked. Good job defensively.
I think that's Ryan McQuarrie there, one of our numbers that are tough to pick up on the line, but that is Ryan McQuarrie with the ball.
Corey looking down low, couldn't connect with the pass, and Paris will bring it right back the other way in transition.
And you had McQuarrie coming off a bit of a calf injury, so it's good to see him back in the lineup as we get ready for playoffs.
Davis Prince out there now on that right side working with Keene. They swing it around to the left. On the give and go, gone and went. Good job and to pick that up and move it up by the SteelHawks as they again are on the run, and it's Joe Wasson as he does a fine job. Goodchild now will work with Diachenko out there. Quick shot, smothered neatly and nicely by Dunkerley as he flips it, and Jamie McMahon, the vet, will bring it up and give way to Drake Smith.
Well, we got a good pace here going too, and then action really. Both teams wanting to run, which is fun to watch when you're watching lacrosse, of course.
Cole Spear, half boards. Prince will swing it around. They'll go to work left side, one-on-one. Taking a dive, and it's a beauty. So outstanding work. Looks like Curtis Woodland.
Yeah, that was Woodland underneath, Lance. Absolutely. It is a beauty. I'm not sure who the defender was, but he got the shoulder underneath the stick and was able to lean body in and just use his legs and push through, right, like a running back in football, and drive to the net and a little dive across and gives him a better angle with the stick, seeing more of the net than his eyes, and he puts it in.
Thought he did a good job, too, recognize the mismatch, knowing that he had a bit of a size advantage. So kind of did like a post-up as Curtis Romachich out there looking for a pass on the cut. They swing it around to the right side. Working one-on-one. Kick back. Cody McMahon will swing it. Boyle double teamed and manhandled as Paris forces a turnover. Jake Kranz looking across. Connor Watson tried to find that far corner, couldn't. Kranz draws a penalty as well, and again, you'll see Dunkerley head to the bench. 10 on the shot clock. Dawson fighting for it. Spear picks it up. Going to have to hurry here if they're going to get a shot on the delay. Keene's going to work his way in. He's going to take that shot wide of the mark, and we will have our third power play of the game, and that, of course, will come after our officials' timeout.
Looks like a slash on McMahon. I was in tight. I didn't really see the slash there, so obviously was a tight little whack, but hard enough to warrant a penalty, right? And I know we're trying to cut down a lot on the slashing and stuff, and trying to get the players to get back to playing cross-check defense or cross-check positional defense in the league.
Well, we got to cut down the stick work for sure, and Alterna Savings and the All are excited to promote the second annual National Lacrosse League Alterna Cup competition this season. Canadian teams are competing in head-to-head matchups to capture the cup and be crowned the top Canadian team in the NLL. Check out NLL.com and Alterna.ca for the up-to-date standings and schedule. And, of course, Circle K and the Froster Active Kids program are proud sponsors of the Arena Lacrosse League and Junior All program. You can purchase a Froster at your nearest Circle K store. Thank you, Froster Active Kids. And just to go back, Paul, to cutting down a bit on the slashing, the transition from the the transition from the wood sticks to the plastic sticks, of course, in doing that, you kind of have to allow the rules to evolve as well, because the things, of course, that you could do with the plastic, you couldn't do with the wood.
Well, I just think it's so easy to take a stick with two hands and want to really whack someone with it. We saw 2 penalties on that play, and I believe both of them were for slashing to Whitby. So you're right, Lance, with the – there you go. Drake Smith on the crease, little give and go back and forth with Dan Keene, and Drake's deadly down there all season long. When he's been in the lineup for the RiverWolves, he's put goals in from there, step across and just put it through. But to get back to the wood sticks and that, I think what's happening in the game as it does evolve, we do need to see that. We need to see a lot of the extra stuff be taken out and really get back to the fundamentals of the game.
That Drake Smith, that's his 12th goal of the season. And before he was shut down for a couple weeks due to injury, the top point getter for these RiverWolves, and they have made good 3 for 3 on their power play, still have a full minute 44, so discipline a bit of a factor here in the first quarter for the SteelHawks.
Yeah, I think they're trying to push a little bit, see what the referees are going to call, but I think by now you got to know they're going to call that slash, and they need to tuck that stick back in and start getting back to the basics.
Smith out there with Keene on the right side as Woodland comes flying into the top. Renault telegraphed that pass, knocked down. And a good play by Riley Martinell. And Drake Smith's going to have to hurry. Shot clock violation. Good defensive hold by the SteelHawks. And Haruska's going to try to let one go. Good outlet pass right into the stick of Hanna. And Hanna now will work on his wrong stick side, but looking to kill more clock, under a minute to go in the man short.
I think you look for Whitby to try to kill as much as they can. They should anyway, and then take a late shot and try to get a repossession to kill the rest of it.
That would certainly be the ideal scenario, as Hanna with a little shake and bake trying to get closer, gets that shot on net. Dunkerley has the angle covered, and Andy Campbell now will come back, and the big man will lug it over the timeline, and the offense will come and set up with 25 seconds left in the man advantage. Renault will fill that left shooter spot on the interchange. Woodland will slide over and just trickles through the wickets. So enough on it to get it between the legs of Haruska. Another power play marker for the RiverWolves, and they now hold a 5-2 lead.
Well, I think we're 2-1, 5-on-5, 4-0 power play goals for Paris. Again, that's the tale of the first quarter so far, as Whitby has to find a way to stay out of the penalty box and compete at 5-on-5.
Well, Paris comes in impressive 58% efficiency on the power play. You can bet that percentage is going to go up. Whitby with a 57% on the penalty kill. So two very good teams, one offensively, one defensively, and balance it out. But I think the bottom line is, at this level and this caliber, special teams can determine the game.
Absolutely.
Swinging around as Whitby now will work it from the right side. Kick it back. Boyle, good skip pass, hand. Had someone down. Good job. Picks that up. So a timely bounce falls right into the lap.
I think that was Goodchild that with the goal. It almost looked like when he was shooting, the defender hit his stick at the same time and almost re-altered the shot, and it picked a corner on Dunkerley, who went kind of tight body-wise, thinking it was going to come straight on.
And I think that's what happened with Hanrahan's pass. Got knocked and tipped. Went right to Goodchild, and Goodchild may have had it tipped.
Lots of tips on that one, but
Plenty
definitely a goal for the SteelHawks.
Tip. You got that right. Possession now to the SteelHawks, trailing 5-3 here, as we're just over 3 minutes left in this opening quarter. Goodchild out there with McMahon and Curran. And another good job of blocking another shot. I think this season in particular, Paul, we've seen more defensive block shots than ever.
It's become an art, in all honesty. It started a few years back, but the defensive players are almost now expected to get in the way of shots, which was unheard of back in the day when we played. We'd more or less jump out of the way of shots.
Well, you don't want to screen your goalie, right?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like we didn't want to take a ball or anything like that. But
Renault looking for inside to Dawson. Dawson takes a hit, can't find the mark, and Whitby now will bring it up with Martinell. He'll peel off, find his way to the bench, and Hanna now will set things up. Hanna has some room. Big Klofeld does a good job to fill that void as Boyle now will settle in at the top. Skip pass looking for Hanrahan, tracks it down off the rebound, under 10 on the shot clock. Hanrahan, good overhand, stopped though by Dunkerley. Dunkerley will take a look over his shoulder, saw no one, and Campbell now will move it up. Cole Spear ran into Clint Lewis, put on the brakes there, and he'll take it back half boards right side. Under 2 minutes to go here, opening quarter.
Whitby's going to need a defensive stop here.
Good toe save made by Haruska as Dan Keene was in all alone. Paris will track it down, get another clock to work with. Spear waiting for the screen from Keene. Kicks it back out. Woodland will swing it around to Dawson. Dawson gets a screen from Renault. He'll curl around, tuck it in. Good shot, stopped by Haruska. Rebound this time picked up and almost fished out of there by Woodland. And instead it's Haruska that'll move it up, and it's Romicic.
Well, as big as that defensive stop was, Lance, now Whitby needs to get one here on the offense and close the gap to one.
Good child. Looking for a cutter. He'll bounce around, keep it himself, gets a step on Connor Watson. Connor Watson playing a defensive role here today as that shot again, and I don't think there was any intention there, as taking it right in the gut was Rob Stovall, and he might need a little bit of a breather there, as that might have caught him right in the sternum area.
Yeah, it was a pretty hard shot from Boyle. Didn't have anything really to shoot at, and he just wound up and shot it, and Stovall caught that, and we were just talking about blocking shots, and those ones hurt for sure.
40 seconds to go here in the quarter. Drake Smith working on the ISO, kicks it back out. Davis Prince looking inside, Dan Keene. Beauty pass inside the dots to Dan Keene, who turned and found the back of the net for his second of the game. It's 6-3 RiverWolves.
You know, what I'm seeing here today with Paris that I haven't seen for the majority of the year, and mind you, they haven't had all their offensive players. They are missing Justin Scott today, but his movement, that was just beautiful. Beautiful to watch. Keene starts it up top, swings it, and the ball gets swung to Drake Smith back up top to Davis Prince. He slides underneath, outruns his defender, gets a pass, and buries it. Just haven't seen a lot of that from that team, from Paris, and it's, you know, obviously they're revving her up.
20 seconds left in the quarter. Boyle getting trapped back there. He gets double teamed. Hanrahan's get it. He's going to let it rip. Stopped by Dunkerley. 10 on the game clock. Dunkerley's going to have to air it out. They're going to get a shot. McMahon. One pass zipped up. No time to set up. Dawson underhand on target. Haruska. The save, and 15 minutes are in the books here at the ILA. 6-3 for the RiverWolves. All set now for quarter number 2. As the first quarter saw the RiverWolves go on a bit of a run, SteelHawks answered, and we've got ourselves a 6-3 game off the draw. Jonah Bean battling in there. But it's won by the SteelHawks, and Hanna now will set it up, and they'll work it on the left side. Romicic out there with Diachenko. Hanna trying to find an opening. Marcus Elvin locked on him. Good shot steered aside by Dunkerley. Loose again, and SteelHawks do a good job to corral that loose ball and get a fresh clock.
Yeah, nice play by Mickle to bat it out to Boyle, so Boyle has an easy pickup.
Hanrahan again will tee it up, and I'll tell you the rookie's not shy. As that goes off, I'm not sure if that went off the post, the defender.
No, it went off a defender, but there's another rookie, Lance. We talked about our crop this year, Hanrahan. Just terrific player. Hasn't been in every game. He was hurt early in the season, but he's having a terrific year.
Looking down low as Diachenko battling for it. Hanrahan now swings to the top, kicks it over, and it's McMahon. Hanna. Under 10, and Hanna gets hauled down by Jonah Beam. So the SteelHawks are going to get their first power play of this game.
And that's what Tristan Hanna does. He's got great feet. You know, he has moves coming around the top, as we saw on the previous possession, outside shot around the top, or he can get you underneath, which he had, being him underneath, and being him had to take the holding penalty.
Sometimes that's your only option, is Hanna out there with Dan Mickle. Good child. Hanrahan down on that right crease, and Diachenko filling in that right shooter spot. Collapsed in box as Hanna's going to get some room, and again, if you don't bring that box out, you're allowing these shooters point blank to find the back of the net.
And that was a prime example of what Hanna can do. Beat you underneath, beat you from the top. He's a good rookie. I think he was drafted in the NLL by the New York Riptide, if I remember correctly. If I'm wrong, I do apologize. But he's a guy that has the tools. Once he gets a little bit more experience at this level, I don't think we'll see him very long here in the ALL.
Well, that's certainly our job, is to be the stepping stone into the NLL. As off the draw, on the carpet again, and Romicic had it momentarily knocked away. Good job by Kofeld, but it is Curran that comes out of the scrum and tried that skip pass to Cody McMahon, couldn't connect. And pinned up on the boards there was Hunter Agus. And Hunter Agus bounced out, but Agus left the building, and I'm not sure if they're calling a legal cross-check here or what, but just the thought of Cody McMahon manhandling Hunter Agus seems like a little bit of a far-fetched scenario.
It looks like they gave him an unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm not sure if the door opened and then McMahon pushed Agus through, or if it was just the push that opened the door. Probably a combination of both, and maybe a second push pushed him through. But referee Furman decided that that's an unsportsmanlike, and he's teed him up for that.
Well, Agus certainly came back into the rink upset. He looked like he was ready to retaliate, but thought better of it. And either way, this power play back to work for the RiverWolves. 4 for 4 in the first quarter. And that is going to be a violation, I thought, over and back, and that is the call.
Yeah, so, it was, Lance. And it's got to be, I think, picked up by the official that called it over and back. He didn't, so they kind of hesitated for a bit, but they got it right.
Well, that's the bottom line, as SteelHawks now will work some clock. Boissonneau will hold on to it as shot clock winding down to 15. Bodies inside that dotted circle, and got to keep an eye out all over the place here. That shot goes off the post. Corralled and picked up, so the SteelHawks will have a chance now to work some more clock. Minute 10 left in the man short. And Dan Mickle, of course, a mainstay on this Whitby team offensively and defensively. He is one of the glue players, or the nucleus players, as that goes well wide and picked up. RiverWolves now will work it over the timeline, and it's Agus. Dan Keene started off on the right, gets chased there, and he'll pull it up. Smith, Woodland, Renault, and Dawson, the other 4 out there on this Paris power play, and they have been deadly so far with 4 power play markers. Smith tried to go up top over that. Good block there by Martinell. And Smith had to let that go, steered aside Aruska, and now the SteelHawks will bring it back with 20 seconds left in the man short.
Definitely a good box. They should be able to kill his penalty. They had 2 big blocks from the defenders there. I don't think Paris really got a shot through until late in the shot clock there.
Well, we've seen Paris stay in some games just with their defense alone. So defensively is certainly their strongest asset, as Hanrahan now will hold it. Penalty over, and team's now back to full strength. Hanrahan's just going to have to shoot it quick. Shot clock winding down, and possession now to Paris. We're under 11 minutes to go here in the first half. Campbell, he'll hold on to it, lost it, and flipped it back to Davis Prince. Prince now will zip it over, and he'll find himself on his right stick-hand side. Curtis Woodland gets a screen. Woodland, good save by Haruska. Campbell picks up that rebound, trying to work his way closer to the iron, goes to the backhand in tight. Tough pass to handle in traffic, and Whitby now will bring it back the other way.
We haven't seen that type of offense from Andy Campbell. He had a great pick, sealed off two guys for a Woodland shot, and really a nice backhand pass that just got dropped by Woodland on the return.
Well, when you're passing it in traffic, the pass has got to be on, but you can't hold on to that ball for very long. Case in point, good save made there by Dunkerley as he got the shoulder up. And now Agus going to look to try to move it up, but instead, McCrory that came on momentarily, got possession now, job well done, and Dan Mickle now will start things, shifting it over to McMahon. Good skip pass. Nothing doing there, defense tight, and too much roll on the screen as Agus now is slow to get up, and he's going to need some medical attention. And
I think Whitby's questioning, but obviously Agus is hurt. He probably got it in part of his back below the pad, and now it looks like Whitby's taking a bench penalty.
Well, I think that there is got to be a limit, and they have been on the officials from the opening face-off, and sometimes you have to say Agus isn't one of the guys in the league that tends to embellish.
Exactly.
So I think if he goes down hard, chances are it was a hard hit. When you look at the size differential, you still see Agus being one of the bigger guys, certainly when he's matched up with Cody McMahon, but just not one of the embellishers. So I think if he goes down, he goes down. Either way, another power play attempt, 6th of the day for the RiverWolves. And again, they're going to have some room to get off a good shot as Keene now will let that rip, block. Woodland fakes, shifts it over. Dawson kick back out, looking down low. Kyle Dawson. So Renault the decoy, Kyle Dawson the good finish. That is their 5th power play goal of the game. And they lead this one 7-4.
That is Kyle Dawson's office. He came back, I think this is his 3rd game or 4th game, and, watching the games, he plays the crease in the power play, and he probably has 5 of his goals from that spot. Just give me the ball down there, and I'll put it in the net and show you how to do it from there.
Well, we've seen him when he came back his first game, and he still seemed a little like he didn't have his comfort level that he had last season. And now, 4 games in, you can see the Kyle Dawson that we're used to seeing. As Hannah with good speed, he's going to peel out. Good job by Jake Kranz. And they get it back to the top, Diachenko. Swing it around, Hannah now. He's got some room. Working one-on-one on McMahon. Good stick check there by, Connor Watson. As Watson all over Hannah. Ball loose. Kranz in there too. Shot clock going to wind down. Good defensive hold by the RiverWolves. And you can't argue when you don't even allow the opposition to get a shot. Smith. The offense of the RiverWolves finally back to full strength after about 4 games. And they look not too bad. Dawson on the roll, couldn't connect with Renault. Does a good job to pick up the loose ball, but running out of time as the SteelHawks now will bring it back. And Paul, that's one of the challenges in this league. The roster fluctuation, guys going up and down to the NLL, COVID, family commitments, things like that. So getting your number 1 roster out during the regular season isn't always an easy thing.
No, it's tough, and I think every team in this league has gone through it at least once. We saw Six Nations probably for the first time last night miss some of their key offensive guys. But for the most part, what we're finding is, like there's just so much commitment. And with guys that go up, Whitby lost Cam Milligan very early, and Cam has been fantastic for Panther City, who's on a roll in the NLL. And, it's nice to see that happen.
Jonah Beam now looking with Agus. Agus was hoping for the give and go. Beam changed his mind, gets it to Smith, and Keene now will be a little more deliberate on the half boards. Just over 7 minutes to go here in the half. Curtis Woodland, one-on-one, gets a step, peels back out, kicks it out. Eddie Renault dumps it. Drake Smith backhand wide. Whitby picks up that loose ball, and they get it up, doing a good job to get it over the timeline, and it's Kelly. Rowan Kelly doing his job, but that is going to take us to our second official's timeout here in a 7-4 game. And Paul, you gotta like what you see from the RiverWolves first offensively.
Yeah, their offense today is probably the best I've seen it this season. They've put up a lot of goals in some of the games they've played, but just the crispness of the passing and the picks and and the movement. The movement, as I said earlier, on a Dan Keene goal, I hadn't seen that yet from them. It's been a lot of outside, the odd inside stuff, but today they're trying to get inside and get on top of Harushka. And, for the most part, it's a tough game to get in there. We see it at all levels. And to get inside, obviously right on top of goalie makes it a little harder for the goalie one-on-one because you're always weary of the dives. So the offense is clicking for sure.
And if you look on the flip side and you talk about Whitby trailing by 3 here, what do you think that they have to sort of work on here to get back in the game? They look good early on.
Yeah, I don't think their offense has been crisp at all. You expect more from players like Owen Boyle, who's been fantastic the last few weeks for them. Cody McMahon seems to be struggling. He's taken 3 penalties so far. Dan Mickle's, been there, but you need some finishes from him. It's going to come. All 3 of those players are good players. It's early. I mean, we're not even halfway through the game here yet, so I'm sure they'll get their touches and we'll be talking differently in the second half.
Just a reminder, following this game, it'll be the St. Catharines Shockwave taking on the Six Nations Snipers in the second half of our doubleheader to wrap up the 2022 regular season here in the Arena Lacrosse League. And in the meantime, between time, Curtis Woodland now looking for Davis Prince. Davis Prince goes to the bounce, stopped by Harushka, rebound up in the air. Battle for it, and Whitby now will get it and bring it up over the timeline. Martinell will retreat, almost gave that to Hamley in a bad spot. But they'll set things up, 15 on the shot clock. Hanrahan gets to his right side, gets a screen. Hanrahan with a step, tucks that in there. Cole Hanrahan didn't have a lot of room, but the room he had, he found it.
So you got movement on both sides. And I was about to say this as I'm watching their offense, that Whitby's basically standing in a house-type offense. But they start to move, and then you get Steph Diachenko come up and just set a beautiful screen. And Hammerhand with his speed, there's no one getting him. Underneath, there's no one catching that little guy. And he's a little water bug at times when you see him go under, and he doesn't miss from there very often either.
Slinky kid, and he's always been a goal scorer. That's always been his thing in both hockey and lacrosse. As Jonah Beam comes away from the crowd, Romachich all over him. And he'll peel out, and Paris will set things up as we inch toward the 6-minute mark here in the opening half. 2-goal game. RiverWolves leading. Drake Smith now working on that right side with Dan Keene. Keene looking for the flip. Does a hesitation. Flips it back out. Spear. Backhand in the gondola. And that will give possession now to Whitby, and Hannah will waste no time. Back door. Mickle. 1-2 in the low corner. Transition lacrosse at its finest. We've got a 7-6 game.
And there's Dan Mickle. Talked about him briefly, and that's what Whitby needs. Whitby needs to run. The one thing I've been impressed with that team all year long is they run, and they get off the floor very well, and they get on the floor very well. And reverse transition, as I've heard you call numerous times on the broadcast there. And that was just textbook.
They needed something from Mickle, and he been playing a majority of his time on the carpet in this game defensively, and jumped out in that rush offensively and made him pay as shot now half boards right side. So the momentum now with 2 straight from the SteelHawks, they've closed the gap to 1. And you can bet they got a little more jump in their step now. Diachenko trying to weave his way in. McMahon does a good job to close that up. Blocks another shot. And running into a wall as they cough it up. 1-2 pass. Good save by Dunkerley. As Goodchild point blank, and Dunkerley fishing that out, owning his crease, and now it's Connor Watson. So that time, goaltender stood tall for the RiverWolves. Offense starting on that right side, Smith and Keene. Davis Prince feeding it. On the cut had Curtis Woodland. Not able to connect. Good stick check by Renault. Didn't result in anything as Curran now is going to put on the Jets, get it over the timeline. Rowan Kelly. Kelly, the under move. Probably should have kept that momentum going, but ran into a house in Kofel. And now Hanna. He'll look for an opening. 10 on the shot clock. Fakes the shot. Good defense there by Kofel, and McMahon not able to do much. Cody McMahon from a tough angle on target. Dunkerley no problem there, as he's going to look and sends away the big man in Andy Campbell. Dawson. He'll wait for the rest of the offensive unit as Smith now. Dawson tried to roll that one in, wrong stick side, so didn't have the angle. And a beauty outlet pass will be hauled down by Romancic, and Whitby will settle things down here on offense. Boissonneau working offensively as he gets covered, peels back out. Goodchild will swing it around. And Mickle! So Dan Mickle stand and deliver. Second of the game, and we're all tied at 7.
Well, you see Mickle go wide, and you see the 2 lefty old guys, Boyle and Goodchild, push in, right? And they seal off the 3, right, or at least their 2 defenders. And Mickle brings them tight, gets a pass, and shoots over top of them. Screen shot, tough save, but a real nice play by the 2 lefties that are pushing in on the D guys to create an opening for a shot.
So a lot more to that goal than just a good overhand, as you see with 3:29 to go here in the first half off the draw. So Whitby now is reeled off 3 unanswered and clearly have the momentum in their favor here in the second quarter. And again, quick shot. That's blocked by Agus. Rebound scooped up by McMahon, and he'll find Connor Watson. Look back door. Long pass. Couldn't connect with Prince. Prince, though, has a chance to get it back, and possession will go to Whitby now, and they'll be able to get it over the timeline. Ethan shot. Mickle again, feeling it, gets a step. Tried to work his way in, but I think he's going to draw a penalty on the play, an illegal cross-check. So the SteelHawks have seemed to find a little bit of that second energy, and they seem to be taking it to the RiverWolves right now.
Well, Lance, I'm not sure if they can hear us from the bench from where we are, but Mick all of a sudden has a step, and it has a jump in his step, or whatever that saying is, and you know it better than I do, but, transition goal, a second goal, almost a third goal draws a penalty.
Well, similar to basketball, across a game of runs, and right now, Whitby on a 3-0 as they work it around the horn. Hanna kicked it, good skip pass. Hanrahan tried that from the shooter spot. So I tell you, kid got some kahunas for sure, as that bounce shot by Diachenko is going to be an over and back possession change. And
I like that shot by Diachenko a little bit better, but I think that's Hanna that should be shooting that shot from there.
Well, you've kind of got Hanna sort of gotten lost in the second quarter shuffle, as he was instrumental in the offense in the first quarter, and not so much here in the second, as Paris now is going to work some clock. Keene looking for an opening. 15 on the shot clock. Minute 15 to go in the man short. Renault is going to try to work that clock right down and either get a shot off or dump it in the corner. as Renault will peel off, and instead it gets picked off.
So you see Mark Farthing and just pick the pass off. He's back there talking the whole time through to his defensive counterparts to let them know where the ball is. Just a beautiful defensive hold on when you have the defensive man up.
Well, you got an offensive quarterback, you need a defensive quarterback as well, and that's exactly what he is as Diachenko. Hannah's bullet! So you asked for Hannah to step up, and that baby sidearm top corner was just that. And the SteelHawks have their first lead of the game now, 8-7.
What a rocket. When Hannah lowered his body, I'll be honest, watching this from our angle, I'm thinking, okay, if there's a field across net in there, he's picking the top corner. Well, we don't play with field across nets, and he picked the top corner. What a beautiful shot.
Kid can shoot his third of the game. As Hannah came into this game as not one of the team's leading scorers, but he has been instrumental here with 1:20 to go in the half. Paris now looking for an answer as they were strong in the first quarter. Bit of a lull here. And Cole Spear now will try to settle things down. Davis Prince out there with Drake Smith, Curtis Woodland working one-on-one. Need a little something more from Woodland. As that caroms, and a break for Romicic. In alone. Big save by Dunkerley. So Dunkerley comes up big there, and boy, that would have did a lot for Whitby's momentum and ending off this half with that. 40 seconds left in the second. Dawson will swing it around Smith, working to Keene. Keene going to bull his way in. Peels back out, trying to look to turn that corner. Can't. Gets a shot away underhand, gets blocked. Picked up, rebound, steered aside by Haruska. 25 seconds and a timeout called by the SteelHawks with 26.5 seconds to go here in the second.
Great save by Haruska there at the end. Obviously, big opportunity by Paris to tie this going into half. Whitby's got to be smart in this possession. As we know, it's the last possession of the half unless they go early and shoot early, and we've seen that happen, and we've seen empty net goals.
Well, we've seen that strategy backfire on a number of coaches where a bad rebound or a long shot caroms and someone gets a break in an empty net. I would think, so with 26.5, when are you taking that shot?
Well, I think most teams like to go around the 8-second mark. I think they think that's the safety net, because by the time you make the one or two passes, you're down to 3 seconds. You get the shot off. There's one or two left to make that lengthwise, throw in the empty net. Now, we've seen that with 2 seconds left too. So, but I'm not sure what Coach Proud has, what he's drawing up here. But, Gavin's got ample experience as a star offensive player in the NLL, and I'm sure he's going to have something fancy for us to see and see if they can capitalize on it.
Well, when we talk about fancy, certainly one of the best dressed coaches in the Arena Lacrosse League. I couldn't pull off the green alligator shoes and socks to go with it with the shirt, and that whole ensemble is just untouchable. We got another guy in Ron Mouser Henry, another sharp dresser. So the coaches certainly holding their own here as final possession of this half will supposedly go to the SteelHawks, and they will be very deliberate about when they go. 15 on the game clock. Down to 10. There's the 8. And it's on. Interchange. Hannah. Skip pass. Good defense extended. Hannah gets a shot off. Good save by Dunkerley, and well executed, couldn't finish, but after 30 minutes, it is the Whitby SteelHawks 8, the Paris RiverWolves 7. Locked and loaded here as we get set for quarter number 3. First quarter was the RiverWolves with a 6-3 lead, and Whitby stormed back to take a 8-7 advantage. That's where we stand here as we open things up here with the SteelHawks going to work right away. Dunkerley, good save on the bounce shot as Owen Boyle got off a good one. And Paris now will get it over the timeline. Woodland. He'll find Drake Smith, who will set things up. We'll see here what the talk was with Jamie Dubrick, Chris Driscoll and company to their squad here at halftime. As that one knocked down by Kelly. Good job to get it fished out by Dawson. Going to have to hurry, though. Shot clock winding down. Dawson never gave up on the play. So good job on his part. But Cody Hamley now will trot over the timeline, set things up for the SteelHawks. Good child. Goes to the overhand, tried to use a couple of defenders as a screen. Mickle in there mixing it up. And Dunkerley will come away with it. And out comes Big Clofer. Smith. Smith and Keene working on that right side. Cutter tried to go low. Doors shut by Haruska. And Whitby now will counter the other way. Lewis was in the rush instead. Good underhand there by McCrory, but better pad save made by Dunkerley as he'll send away Connor Watson.
I think that might have been an ill-advised shot by McCrory there in transition. You're 1-on-3, and your offense is chomping to get its first and second possession of the quarter.
Well, you know that momentum's a funny thing as Prince looking for an opening, dumps it down low. Dawson, wrong stick side, and to even have an attempt to sneak that in was impressive in itself, but a lot of times you're just not going to score from that angle. Boyle out there logs a lot of time on the carpet, that young fella, as they swing it over now to the right side. Hanna. And Boyle, good skip. Diachenko steered aside there by Dunkerley. Good job to regain possession. Whitby now with a fresh clock. Boyle looking for a cutter, floats it in, picked off by the Paris defense, but just a little bit too overly aggressive was Clofer. And possession will remain here with the SteelHawks.
Whitby wants to get the ball to their weak side, the two-man game on the right side. Looking for cutters here.
Hanna, good quick shot, and Mickle, what a finish. So Dan Mickle has woken up for sure. Not the easiest pass to take on and do a quick stick finish, but he did that, and it's 9-7 Whitby.
You know, you watch good players like Mickle, and we have a few in our league that do this similar stuff where they go in and they're in tight with their defender, and they take 2 steps back, 3 steps back to give themselves some space. Many times the offensive guy with the ball's not finding him. Hanna comes around and it finds him. Beautiful pass, beautiful goal.
So even though they made that look easy as Agus now with Romacic all over him. Agus, it's ahead of steam. Romacic got him pinned up on the boards, forces the turnover. So good job defensively by Romacic, and now it's shot. Well, Paul, similar to basketball, the ability to create your own shot means you got to create some space between you and the defensive player, and Mickle made that quick stick from a tough angle look awfully easy, and we know it's not. Mickle floats out there last. Hanna working on that side. Beaufort doing a good job keeping him at bay. Mickle on target, and possession will go the other way, and Paris again losing some steam in transition, but in a 5-on-5 set, still seem pretty strong defensively.
Yeah, they are. They got to get the offense going now. I think Whitby's got 4 in a row or maybe 5. I can't remember if it was 7-4 or 7-5 before the start of it. But Whitby definitely has the momentum going into the half and coming out of it.
Curran now will get it over the timeline and move it up to Boyle. Cody McMahon will slide over in that right spot. Looking for an opening again was Diachenko. Good job to hockey it over, and another reset for Whitby here as McMahon now be a little more deliberate and skip that across. Re-skipped by Hanrahan. Boyle fighting for it. Pinned up on the boards, 10 on the shot clock. Curran in there looking to fish something out. Jamie McMahon doing a good job to kill some clock. And that's going to be a possession change, and again, that's the second straight possession that the RiverWolves have held their own. And with over 10 minutes to go, a good sign here in the third.
Yeah, the defense is doing their part, Lance, for the RiverWolves. Now it's up to the offense to start getting something going here.
Smith on the slide, and that was well done. Took that feed from Davis Prince. And Drake Smith, money in the bank from in that tight as he picks up his second of the game, and we've got ourselves another one-goal game.
Well, again, textbook lacrosse offensively, where you see the left side, which is a strong side, which has 3 runners on it. They're busy. They're keeping the Whitby defense motion. They're in motion. They're pushing up a bit. They leave the underneath. There's no slide help coming, and they run a 2-man game on the right side, and then it tends to a nice looking goal.
So you can always draw it up on paper in case you don't know. Of course, Paul St. John, not just the president of the Arena Lacrosse League, but a longtime player, has played at every level of the game, has coached at every level of the game, including the professional level as a scout and GM. So certainly no shortage of lacrosse knowledge and experience here as Whitby working it tight. Dunkerley looked behind him. And a point-blank chance there for Diachenko, and good job by Dunkerley to keep his team in it. 9.5 to go here, third quarter. Keene working with Spear and Smith on that right side. Keene fakes a shot, peels back out. Good job by Woodland to hold on to it. Dawson's bounce shot had too much bounce on it. Ended up in the screen now, and Hamley and Whitby will move it up over the timeline.
Last possession for Whitby on a defensive end. Connor Watson looked like his hamstring tightened up on him. Let's see if he comes back or if he has to shut her down.
Might be one of the reasons he's out there more defensively than offensively. One of their offensive weapons as Hannah's sidearm goes off the post. And souvenir, of course, for one of the fans here. Good crowd here for our first game here at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. As McMahon sizing it up, should have pulled the trigger, didn't. Good skip pass on the curl. Hanrahan gets pushed around there. His shot wide of the mark. And Paris now and Johnson trying to scoop it up, and he does.
You know what? Textbook defense by Clofer there. You know, gets his body and stick in position to push Hamran away, and Hamran has to take an off-balance shot.
Dawson, Renault will swing it around. Prince on the curl. Ran out of room, skip over. Drake Smith tried that, was practicing that sidearm in warm-up. Little different when a defender's on you. And Whitby now will move it up as we inch toward the 8-minute mark here, third quarter. Boissonneau, he'll flip, remain out there on offense. And it's Goodchild. Has Mickle on the slip, nothing doing there. Kick it back out, Diachenko. Looking for an opening, takes it to the right. He's chased back out. They'll swing it back to the left. Goodchild trying to get a step on Angus. Nothing doing. Shot clock winding down. Quick stick there. Almost took a good hop. And a battle ensuing there as still on the carpet. Mickle trying to fish it out. He gets a handle on it. Elvin there has a grip, and Dunkerley finally says, I've had enough. Smothers it, gets possession, and now it's Angus and the RiverWolves.
Good to see Watson back there, Lance, if I can just jump in quickly.
So sprawling out Haruska, doing everything to make sure that that ball doesn't cross that line. And I think that should take us to our officials' timeout. And it certainly does. And Paul, if we look back on this weekend, of course, a thrilling 1-goal victory by the Outlaws on Saturday in the early game. Overtime win for Six Nations last night. We've got a 1-goal game here in this game. you got to be pleased with the parity that we're seeing in the Arena Lacrosse League this season.
Yeah, it seems to be like this every season in the ALL, and this year, Six Nations clinched first, but everyone else is playing this weekend for a spot. And as much as say a thrilling win for the Outlaws, it was probably a thrilling one-goal loss for the Timmermen, because when losing by one goal, they still were able to keep fourth place, right? So they'll end up playing the Outlaws in the quarterfinals next weekend. But you do have that prestige of being ahead of the other team. But as we know here, we need to have a three-goal win by Paris to get ahead of Whitby. So while we're talking here, we're listening to the penalties. There were some penalties on the play there, Lance, including a 5-minute major.
Well, it does look like a 5-minute major that I guess happened in that little bit of a scrum here. Cole Spear in the middle, so we're not sure what he did, but of course Joel Furman and company have a better handle on it than we do. They're down there and we're up here. Yeah,
it looked like they called goalie interference. So as we were watching the play there, and we had a little short break, second delay, there was a hit into Harushka, right? And obviously it was Cole Spear driving, going for a crease dive, and then Ethan Schott came in and got a roughing penalty for Whitby.
So 4-on-4 right now, and it's coughed up. RiverWolves now are going to try to leg it over the timeline. Boyle doing a good job on Kofeld defensively as he stayed with him, slowed him up enough, and Stovall will give way to Dan Keene. So in a minute 35, the SteelHawks will go on a long power play. But Eddie Renault in the meantime, between time, working his way in. Haruska closed the wickets and shut that bounce shot off. And Romancic now going to have to hurry, and one pass over the timeline. 6:20 to go here, third quarter. Goodchild, one-on-one with Agus. He'll swing it across. Diachenko. Kofeld on him. Backing his way out, gets it to Hanrahan. Hanrahan again has to let it rip, right on target. Stopped by Dunkerley. And he's going to inch his way out. He's going to have to put some air on it as they're going to have to hurry, and they do not get it over the timeline. So just a reminder, the shot clock's one thing, but it's the manual count by the officials that matters, as Romancic now will pull up short and wait for the rest of his O. Boyle working a two-man game, 35 seconds left in the penalty, and that's a tough call there, as I thought Romancic may have tripped on the carpet more so than got tripped. Either way, net empty now, going to have to hurry. McMahon shot on target, and looks like Paris isn't going to help their own cause.
No, we're going to see here if Whitby can take advantage like Paris did in the first half. I think Paris had 4 or 5 power play goals of their 7 or 6, or was 7 in the first half. And now Whitby's going to get some power play action to try to up their league.
Paris with 5 power play goals in the first half. Whitby had 2, so they are actually 2 for 2 with the man advantage. Is Whitby, and they come in with a 47% efficiency on the power play as Hanrahan dances around, looks for an opening, kicks it back out. McMahon no look, swing pass, 1-2, good save by Dunkerley. Fresh clock for the SteelHawks. Paris 43% on the penalty kill. As you can see now, 2-man advantage, 5-on-3. Shot's going to play safety, and you can expect they're going to work right in. Hanna tried to tuck it over the shoulder, nothing doing. Corral the rebound, no reset, 10 on the shot clock. McMahon, Mickle, dive, big save by Dunkerley. McMahon this time will track it down, and they're going to have to hustle to get it over the timeline. Bouncing off a check and reaching out is Stovall. Tried to hit Keene on the run. Instead, Keene, luckily to get away from an illegal cross-check in the back. Boissonneau chasing it down. Boissonneau, good job to roll out of trouble. Gets it to Edwards now. 3-on-1. Edwards dumps it down. Cody McMahon finds the short side. So a big goal there by McMahon, and it's It's 10-8 for the SteelHawks.
Yeah, definitely a big goal in transition, a power play transition goal. Love those ones. But you're watching the game, the intensity is picked up. You know, first half you saw Whitby and Whitby's bench not happy with some of the calls because they seem to be getting them all. Now Paris takes a couple penalties. Paris is looking for an 8-second call. Paris is looking for a checking in the crease call. You know, so now they're looking for all the calls with the referee. So the intensity's picking up, and it's playoff lacrosse on the last weekend of the season in the ALL.
So, of course, Cody McMahon playing against his brother Jamie here in this game, and we know their rivalry goes way back, and not sure what the discussion is. I would assume the minor penalty would be done on the goal, but the 5 would stay up there. Is that correct assessment?
That's a good question. So I'm going to leave that to the officials, but I believe I would have thought it comes off the 5-minute major, but I know the mechanics is to try to get the teams back to full strength as quickly as possible. So we may see the 50-second penalty left come out, and it still be a 5-on-4, and you can still score 2 goals on the 5-minute major. So let's see how they. Yeah, we got a goal call. But we have Furman going over to explain something here, and we're not sure what it is.
Well, we'll certainly let them sort that out. And
so I'm not sure, Lance, why there was a delay for the goal call, because it was called the goal originally, and then Furman has made the goal signal again. So I'm not sure why. But, yeah, we'll be interested to see how they figure this out. I know
we will have a draw at center. The goal stands. The question for us will be whether or not it comes off the minor or the major penalty. Either way, you got to figure that Paris is going to have some work to do. And Whitby now holding the advantage so they do take the minor off. 2:10 left in the major penalty, and a chance, of course, for Whitby to add as Marcus Elvin has to go all the way back to get possession. Chase and worked by Boyle. Double team Boissonneau in there. Elvin doing a good job to kill some clock and draws a penalty. So Marcus Elvin, outstanding work. And that'll go a long way to helping Paris. Renault tees that up. It gets blocked by Farthing. And with 1:38 to go, the Whitby power play will come to an end as Boyle will go for the trip.
So you watch what's happening here. Again, overzealous. You don't need the ball back. You're going to get the ball back with 30 seconds unless you get a deflected repossession. Coach Prout, as Boyle's running off, is trying to tell him, just cross-check. That's all you have to do there.
Well, you know, sometimes the difference between telling guys what to do and what they actually do don't always match up. But that's the art of coaching, as Wasson tracks that down.
Yeah, absolutely. Drives coaches crazy, for sure.
Mickle working on the half boards. So in a 1:05, they'll go on the power play, but in between time, Hanrahan, he sure got Goodchild in a bad spot. As Angus now will bring it along. Goodchild can let Hanrahan know about that as Woodland. So Curtis Woodland using the long arm of the law to tuck that far side, and the RiverWolves close to within 1.
Huge goal. Huge goal. It just on the run from the bench, coming into the offensive zone. Whitby's defenseman is motionless. He's flat-footed, and he just runs, and Prince finds him and hits him, and on the run, there's no way you're stopping him. And Woodland walks around him and picks the far top corner.
Third goal of the game for Woodland. And possession now to Whitby.
I think Whitby's going to need one here, Lance, because they're going to be short for about 22 seconds eventually, and Paris's power play's been deadly.
They have both teams very effective on the power play, as special teams has been a real impactive factor here, as Dunkerley with a good save. 20 seconds left in the penalty. And a quick change, and way too many on the floor. 8-second count. So a little too casual, and Smith gets away with one there as Curran now will work it in. So Whitby now will be short. Paris now will hold off, and now they have their fifth guy jump out defensively is Big Clofer, as he'll reach out. 5 on the shot clock, on target, Dunkerley. And he's going to look now and gets it to Clofer. Clofer's going to have to hurry. Clofer on his horse, gets it over, got a head of steam going, dumps it down low. Dawson will kick it back up to Smith. Minute 40, penalties over. Teams back to 5-on-5. Eddie Renault inside out. Bullet stopped by Harushka. Rebound picked up, nothing doing. Crease the call. Possession the other way. McCrory, good hesitation move. He'll pull it back out to Goodchild, who's recovered from that Hanrahan underhand. Looking over to Hanrahan. He peels out. Slinky, got to watch that kid, as another skip pass. Good job by Diachenko. Man, what a grab, what a finish. Just like that, 11-9.
You know, Lance, I wanted to say this earlier when Whitby was going on that power play, because Diachenko was going to be on it, and they pulled him off because it was a 4-on-3. If he's not the smoothest player in this league, he's definitely top 3. Okay, he's not, you watch him, he's not flashy, but he's so smart. And he moves, he's a great passer, sees the floor really well, and now he's starting to finish. More and more in the last 2 or 3 games, he's probably doubled his goal scoring total because he's starting to shoot the ball.
Well, I tell you, I think the catch was most impressive, not even the shot. To go airborne and reach up in traffic, that's a little bit of a suey. And to be brave enough as Romicic teed that up, probably didn't need that whole big windup. Boyle gets it back. Reset now, 45 seconds left in the quarter. Hanna kicks it back out. Boyle's shot, bullet over top of the net. Almost corralled it, battling with Elvin for it. Picked up by McMahon. Jamie McMahon now will avoid a defender and dump it off. And now it'll be Woodland. Woodland to Prince. To Smith. 15 on the game clock. Drake Smith, one-on-one on the isolation. Boissonneau on him. Davis Prince in the post. Good try by Dawson. Stopped, though, by Harushka. Picked up. 10 now in the quarter. Dawson, Prince, Smith going to have to hurry. Backhand pass in traffic. Good idea, but execution not happening. And with 1.2, that is going to do it. 3 exciting quarters here at the ILA in the books. 11-9. SteelHawks. Set to go here for the final 15 minutes. Final 15 of the regular season for both Paris and Whitby. Next weekend, of course, at Brampton Memorial Arena. The playoffs start in the Arena Lacrosse League. Of course, the Final 4 will be right here at the ILA. And Elvin's going to go as he caught Boyle up top. And I think, Paul, that may have been a situation where Boyle may have been a little off balance, but right in the line of the cross-check caught him right up high.
That's a tough call. I got to be quite honest with you. That's a tough call. Boyle was falling, and Elvin, if you watch where his hands were, there's no intention anywhere to make an illegal check, and that's what it's called, an illegal cross-check. I'm not so sure, but the referees are the ones that see it better than I do for sure.
So the fourth power play, 3 for 3 with the man advantage are these SteelHawks, and Han out there at the top working with Diachenko and Hanrahan on that right side. Hanrahan peeling around, goes to the sidearm, good save by Dunkerley. Mickle, of course, and looks like Goodchild will fill out that left-hand side. As now the interchange, Hanna slides to that right shooter spot, and up top comes Hanna now. Looking down low on the skip to Mickle, and pass goes awry. Dunkerley picks it up. He's going to have to move it up and move it up in a hurry. And they do. Good job to find Cole Spear. Minute 15 in the penalty. Paris would certainly love a shorty here, but I think more importantly, they don't want to give one up, as a good check there by Curran forces the turnover, and now it's going to get legged up over the timeline. It'll be Hanrahan to settle things down. Cole Hanrahan with 2 goals in this game. Hannah working on the top, swinging around, and you don't want a guy like Dan Mickle to cool off, Paul. You want to try to keep him engaged. He's got the hot hand. Hanrahan goes to the bounce, a little too much on it, was sniffing that short side.
Yeah, he does. And I'd like to see Hannah go from the right shooter to the left crease, because you see Mickle again creating space for himself for a quick stick backdoor goal, and they connected once 5-on-5 for it. Why not connect 5-on-4 when you have a bit more space?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it for sure, as Drake Smith's going to hold on to it. 10 seconds left in the man short, dumping it off. Keene wasn't open, and back the other way comes Kelly. Kelly's going to pull up, and jumping into the rush was Romacic. He coughs it up, and Clofer now will turn it the other way. Back door open. Clofer, take that shot. He was on his right stick side. Tried to fish it up off the carpet. So a good battle there, but the SteelHawks come away with it, and they'll bring it up over the timeline.
Yeah, good read by Clofer there to realize that Woodland's coming off the bench as a lefty. Tough pass in for a shot, so he takes a shot.
So good decision made on Clofer's part, as trying to turn that corner. Diachenko kicks it back out. That shot from Mickle, well wide of the mark. That goes out of play.
Yeah, that's not where Mickle needs to shoot the ball from, but it was late in the clock, and he was just trying to get something on net and try to get a rebound.
Paris will bring it over the timeline. Good job by Big Rob King. Good to see him in the lineup, of course, for the RiverWolves. Battling for it on those boards there is Woodland. Takes a hit and gets manhandled, and Clint Lewis just a little too overly aggressive. And it'll be Kyle Dawson now. That'll zip it across to Smith on the skip. Woodland, another skip, tough angle. Rebound picked up, another good save by Harushka.
Great save
Ball
by
loose.
Harushka.
In transition now, Edwards is going to pull up on his wrong stick side and wait for the rest of the offense now. Just under 11 and a half to go here in the fourth. Whitby will start things off, left side half boards, and wait for their entire offensive unit to get out there. Hannah. 5 on the shot clock. That shot, I'm not sure, took a little off. Did Boyle floated that one well over the net. I'm not sure if he was caught between that should I shoot or pass, but either way, Paris now with possession, Connor Watson. Eddie Renault's been awfully quiet for the RiverWolves. And they need a little something out of him. He was sniffing that 5-hole as Harushka kept that stick just steady enough to close it off.
You know, you had mentioned Eddie Renault, Owen Boyle on the other side. You talked about a shot up high. That's the second one that he's missed, so I'm not sure if he's got an issue with the stick. And he's trying to play through it and hope that the pocket feels better, but he's just not finding the net at all here.
Quick shot, underhand, wide of the mark. Hannah's going to track down the rebound. 5 on the shot clock, going to go one-on-one. Hannah dumps it off. Good pass as Cody McMahon had more time than he thought he had and rushed that shot. Easy save made by Dunkerley, and now Paris will go to work on O. 10-10 to go here in the fourth. Ball loose. Smith had it momentarily, but now in alone, a chance here for Whitby. 1-2, big save by Dunkerley. So a golden opportunity. It looks like that was McCrory. But, of course, my eyesight a little shaky, to say the least, and I think it was. Or is that Diachenko? Not sure.
No, you're bang on. That was McCrory.
Take that on the first guess. Bouncing off. And a quick shot, Danny Keene. Man, on the run. That bounce shot, top corner. And if we said we hadn't gotten much from Eddie Renault, Dan Keene with his third of the game.
Dan Keene, veteran, all right, Blaine Arushka still finding his way, young goalie, good goalie. As he's stepping, Keane shooting. What a tough save, and it's a perfect shot in the top corner. So if you watch the body of Harushka, he's moving, and he's got to alter, and he can't. So it goes up his shoulder and in the top corner.
And a tough bounce there into the Whitby bench will give Paris possession. Watson now looking to capitalize right away as he stays out there on offense, and he'll now do a flip and retreat. Both him and Agus same time. Renault slides out with Dawson. Spear. So Cole Spear certainly needs to contribute just a bit for this offense.
Yeah, I think Spear is trying the same shot Keane did with not the same success, obviously, but not a bad idea, right? You got him once, let's see if we can get him again.
Kelly will feed Hanrahan, who will bring it over to the right side. Under 9 minutes to go. Hanrahan one-on-one. Gets some room. I'll tell you, the kid will let it fly. Good job by Diachenko to corral the rebound, and a fresh clock now. And it's Mickle goes over the top, and taking liberties, Marcus Elvin, as just a little bit too much on Cole Hanrahan, and Elvin will find his place in the penalty box. And when you got a team that already has 3 power play goals, they're 3 for 4 with the man advantage fourth quarter, maybe not the best decision.
No, they gave him 5 as well for a high stick on that one, as it was a hit directly to the head. So another 5-minute power play for Whitby. Technically, Whitby right now is up 3 goals. I know the scoreboard's 11-10, but in the playoff implications, they had a 2-goal bulge coming in. So if they can add to that total, they should put themselves in a real good spot to clinch second place overall.
So Whitby now will go to work. They are 3 for 4. Han out there at the top. He'll attack to gap that box, looking for Hanrahan. Overload on that right side. You see Diachenko, Hanna as well. Hanrahan will slide to the top, try to gap that on the interchange. Goes to the bounce shot. So Cole Hanrahan, do it up, Hanny. His 3rd of the game. 4th power play goal of the game, and more importantly, you still got 4.5 left in that power play.
Yeah, it's a 2-goal power play if you really want it, and if you can capitalize on both of them, obviously. With Hanrahan there, when they came to 3 to the right side, you watch and you're thinking, why? Why are you overloading that right side? He gets back up to the top, gives himself some, obviously a way better angle to shoot the ball, and goes 5-hole and scores.
Well, we know it's all about angles in this game. Hence the reason we're always emphasizing stick side. And Hanna will scoop it up. So 12-10 in favor of Whitby, a chance here to add another with just over 8 minutes to go. So the Elvin penalty potentially coming back to bite Jamie Dubrick and company, as now they'll look for more. Good child, swing on the interchange. Good fake, kick it back. Diachenko looking down low. Hanna, tic-tac and no toe. Big save by Dunkerley. Reset, fresh clock. Mickle, kick it back up. Good child, inching their way in, closer to that half circle. Diachenko, good child, sniffed it, and good hands there by Gavin Prout to knock that down on the bench, and that will take us to our officials' timeout. Alterna Savings and the All are excited to promote the 2nd annual National Lacrosse League Alterna Cup competition this season. Canadian teams are competing in head-to-head matchups to capture the cup and be crowned the top Canadian team in the NLL. Check out NLL.com and Alterna.ca for the up-to-date standings and schedule. And, of course, Circle K and the Froster Active Kids program are proud sponsors of the Arena Lacrosse League and Junior All program. You can purchase a Froster at your nearest Circle K store. Thank you, Froster Active Kids.
Lance, just watching here and watching the Paris bench, I see Jay Kranz down the side there, and I was wondering why we haven't seen much of him. So he still has his gear on, but I don't think he's played much here in the second half. They have another player who I can't recognize that's out as well alongside that. So they do have a couple guys that have gone down, and in the second half, and hopefully both of them aren't major injuries and they can get back for the playoffs. No one likes to get hurt at this time of the year for sure.
Hopefully it's precautionary and maybe it's a tweak and you just don't want to make it worse than it is. Let's hope that is the case. And, of course, Jake Kranz missing from the league for a while, and we're just glad to have him back. He was a mainstay with the Six Nations Snipers before making the move over to Paris.
Yeah, he had a major car accident. We didn't think we'd see Jake back, and obviously, at the time, our prayers are with him, and the good Creator and the good God got him healthy and got him back to playing.
So Eddie Renaud back to work, shot all over him as Paris with 3:40 to kill. And you can bet the last thing they want is to give up another goal as that pass goes over to Dawson. Dawson working now, 10 on the shot clock. Kyle Dawson with Romancic on him. Slips through two, takes a hard hit, and that is definitely going to be a penalty, as it looks like Boissonneau was just a little too aggressive as Dawson tried to turn that corner.
It'd be interesting to see if we see a 5 the other way here. We've seen 2 5s against Paris already. Again, you over-aggressive to get the ball back, right? Like, get your stick into the stick, get your body into the body, and just prevent a good shot and let your goalie do the rest of the work and get the ball back, and you have 3 minutes left on a power play.
You saw Marcus Elvin in the penalty box gesturing that should be a 5 as well. Looks like it's going to be a 2. I'm not against those 5s. I think that sometimes you have to send a message. It's hard to know if a guy's a repeat offender, but anytime there's a hit in the back, you have to police it the way it should, because right now that's one of the most dangerous plays in any contact sport.
Absolutely.
Smith looking for a step. Thought he had Keane in the slot. Nothing doing there. Loose. Renaud is going to bail his team out. Dump it back low. So Paris now with a chance here to pull a bit closer, trailing by 2. Woodland avoids the grab. Woodland. And Romancic, an extra on him. Shot there by Keane. Extra hit. Picked up by Whitby.
Yeah, I think Whitby got away with the hold there. But, again, this is we're down into playoff minutes, even though it's our last game of the regular season for both teams. This is playoff minutes.
Good job by Kelly to fish that one out, and plenty of complaints. Thought it was an over and back. Mickle will swing it around. Hanrahan can shoot on the run. Dunkerley right where he should be to make the save. And 1:05 left in the major penalty to Elvin. As I'm looking at the looking at the clock there, and
no, you're right. Sure you're right, Lance. And I thought I jumped in on you there, but Paris needs one. They definitely need to find a goal here in the next 50 seconds.
Been a long lull between goals here in the fourth. Renaud gets a step, tries the inside out. Backhand try by Dawson wide of the mark. Good job by Renaud to corral the rebound. Just over 5.5 to go here in the fourth. Smith fakes that, bounces off. Smith wide of the mark. Rebound went fishing. Kyle Dawson there, though, has it knocked out of his stick, and it'll go right to Harushka. Harushka, good outlet pass, will send Whitby over the timeline. McCrory, defender on him. Watson, hounding him around behind the net. And Cody McMahon settle in here. So penalty over. The Whitby penalty's done. Elvin will still has another 1:15 remaining in his, and it's Watson. Watson has a man on the other side. Watson kept it himself. Good save by Harushka as he read that one well, and now it's shot. 2-on-1 here for Whitby if they hurry. Shot. Thought better of it, and with a 2-goal lead and 4.5 to go, are you okay with that decision, Coach?
Yeah, that's right. That's the right move there. Let your offense come on, kill some clock. Your offense has been good today. Let them move the ball and see if they can pot one here. And they got a power play, as we know.
McMahon shot right on target. Dunkerley now is going to air it out, looking for the other McMahon in the pocket. Jamie McMahon gets it. Going to have to get out of there with Kelly on him. Definite size disadvantage as the veteran McMahon does a good job to settle things down. Under 4 minutes to go. 15 seconds left in the Alvin penalty. Renault trying to turn the corner on the other side. Steers back in, bounce shot it. The bounce shot slithers in. So Eddie Renault, how you like me now? Where you been? As we've got ourselves a 1-goal game.
I think you call him downtown Eddie Renaud one.
We got downtown Tyler Brown.
Yes.
We got all kinds of guys. I got one for Eddie Renaud.
That might have been an uptown shot, but again, it caught Lane Harushka's shoulder and just goes through him and in the back of the net. And that's a huge goal for Paris.
12-11, 3:45 to go here. Whitby hanging on as they've got possession now in the offensive end.
And a short-handed marker at that. I forgot about that. That was a short-handed one.
So momentum shifting up and down as Hannah now working one-on-one. Goes to the quick shot off the logo. Dunkerley, easy save. Outlet to Watson. And this again may be one of those games where the Paris defense has done enough to keep their team in it and allow the offense to kind of find a flow if they can pull even here. Prince swinging across. Drake Smith. Drake Smith spin. Good stick check late as Whitby now will come away with it. Looks like Goodchild. Good pass. They move it up over the timeline and Cody Hamley now puts on the brakes. Coming into money time now. 1-goal game. Kofeld finishing his check. And now it's Diachenko. Half boards. 10 on the shot clock. Hanrahan slides out. Kick it around left side. Looking for an opening. Boyle. Hanrahan. Hanrahan. Bounce shot. Nothing doing there. Possession now to the RiverWolves. They'll move it up the other way under 2.5 to go.
Paris has got to start looking at their goaltending, Lance. They need more than one to tie. They got to win this by more than 2. So I'm not sure if Dubrick's remembering that or not, but it's time to get him out.
Well, how big do you think that is a concern? Or you think he's just worried about winning a game, or do you think
you're losing? So, you imagine take the risk now, right?
Fair enough. Dawson gets it over Keene, wrong stick side. Keene going to have to hurry. Only has 2. Dumps it off. Spear can't get it off. So good defensive stand by Whitby with 1:55 to go. Edwards with his long strides will get it over the timeline. And a good job to settle things down by Boyle. Hannah. Slide it back over. Goodchild. Diachenko, one-on-one. Diachenko! Just what the doctor ordered, a big goal. The 2-goal lead restored.
Yeah, that is the nail right there. I mean, as we were talking about, and I know, I don't want to confuse anybody. I mean, it's a game to win. Now you're up 13-11, but Whitby had those extra goals in the bank with it. So, they will now pretty much clinch second place unless we see one of those unreal lacrosse runs that we've seen the odd time and stuff. But by the looks of things, Whitby will get second and Paris end up third.
So either way, you're going to have to put together a 3-game win streak if you're going to win the All Championship. So 2 if you get a bye. And now Boyle does a good job to dance over the timeline, lets the sidearm go. Dunkerley the save. As we get closer to 1:15 to go here in the fourth, Hunter Angus. St. Catharines and Six Nations to follow this one to wrap up the regular season. Woodland looking inside to Smith. Smith covered. Good defense by Cody Hamley. And Romachich will move it up to shot. Under a minute to go now here in the fourth. 2-goal game. Paris not extending it, as you can bet Whitby will work clock. Time is on their side.
Yeah, and I think Paris is basically willing to concede the time as well.
Hanrahan will conveniently leave that. Paris now with 30 seconds to go. So it's about the defensive hold as Rob King will get it over the timeline. And I think Jamie Dubik, Chris Driscoll, just be happy. No injuries. First game where they've got most of their lineup back. And you got to figure plenty of positive as Kyle Dawson in there with Romicic. And Romicic has been a bit of a thorn in the side of these RiverWolves this entire game.
Yeah, I get that it's 10 seconds, 15 seconds left to go. You just need to play that smooth defense. You don't need to get over aggressive. You're going to win the game, right? And I think in that case, I'm not sure if Dawson got a stick up in Romanchuk's face and he retaliated or what, but you just like to see this played out without any incidents.
Well, I like the way you put that, Paul. I mean, that was a very diplomatic way, and I mean, not to phrase it more simply, but that's a bit of a bonehead play because it's not needed and not necessary with 8.3 to go. So let that message kind of go across as discipline, and that's what we're always talking about here in this league. It's a development league. We're not here for anyone to get injured. We want the talent showcased. So that's what we'd like to see. No penalties either way. 8.3 to play here, and you can bet that these guys playing hard will just run it out. And that was actually a collision between two teammates, as hopefully Braden Curran is okay, but an outstanding game. 13-11 the final as the Whitby SteelHawks come away with the W. They clinch second place. And Paul, before we quickly wrap up, just some of your overall quick thoughts about this game here.
Playoff lacrosse, Lance, right from the beginning. We're still seeing some stuff here on the floor, right? So these guys are battling. Paris isn't happy they've lost their spot, and Whitby isn't going to just walk away by the looks of things.
Well, and we can certainly stand up here and say you shouldn't, but to give you an idea of the intensity level here in the last regular season game for both these two teams means that you can bet these guys are fired up for the postseason.
Oh, absolutely. And just to even backtrack for the last face-off there because they weren't sure whose possession it was. There's 8 seconds to go, and we see Braden Curran. I know you got to go hard to the end, but there's 8 seconds left, and he goes 110 miles an hour trying to get a loose ball on a face-off in a game that you've won. Why not just play back and be safe, right? He seems to be he's up and he's walking around now, so hopefully he's okay. But you don't want to see anyone get hurt like you just said 10 seconds before that. So. Well,
we spoke earlier about telling guys things, and what you say and what they do aren't always a match. And with that, of course, that will do it for us here as we advise you stick around for the second half of our doubleheader. The SteelHawks, winners, final regular season game. On behalf of myself, Lance Wynn, my partner, Paul St. John, JVI Productions, thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a bit.